resist a bit of Toby Martin. If only we could hear you, Toby. Hopefully, you just muted. All the anticipation.
So are you talking to me?
I'm talking to everybody. We're just waiting for Toby's sound.
He just does the video bit. He doesn't do the audio.
No, he doesn't. Absolutely.
How about now?
Ah, there he is. Yes, we can hear you. We can see you.
That was all meant to happen.
That was just part of the anticipation and the build-up and the drama.
I'm just flattered that David called me Toby. Because he normally calls me Tony.
Oh, okay.
Like everyone else.
I love it. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you.
Hi, how are you? Hey.
What a room of people.
I know. We'll wait a few more minutes.
God, such fun friends.
I'm glad we have people, so that is good. That's good news. It's working so far.
Just to get in here.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Emma. Nice to see you.
Hi.
See you. Oh, my squad.
We are recording. I know there's a lot of people that can't make it and have asked for the
Good.
recording, so it is being recorded.
Amazing.
So don't say anything that you don't want used against you.
I'm off.
We'll literally wait 5 more minutes. Is Matt in the room?
No.
The man of honor.
Is that Matt? Has anyone seen Matt Lee?
Is Matt behind you? Did he just walk out the door behind you, Sarah?
Oh no, this is Darren, the builder. We love Darren.
Hi, Darren.
Is he good at video? Can he come and talk to us?
He is. He has a TikTok for his building.
Really?
Don't you, Darren?
Okay.
Sick.
He has a building TikTok.
Yeah,
Which we
together.
love.
Love that. Love that.
Can we get his handle?
Or on the
Handle.
building TikTok. We love it.
Yeah, we crucially we just need Matt.
We do. We had a bit of a demo. We actually have. He is around because we've been on the call with him about 5 minutes ago.
And then he just vanished.
And then he has disappeared. But it's okay because I'm sure he'll make it. If not, Toby Martin could probably speak for the whole duration of the actual session anyway.
No
So
problem.
I've seen his notes, so we're all right. We're safe. But it would be really nice to have the man of the moment, obviously being Matt Lee. But we will of course crack on. So I am just going to start. We are going to wait and see if Matt magically appears and joins us.
I'm just going to message him just to make sure he knows which link to use.
Okay. Thank you, Toby. I have sent him a few, and I had to add him. But if you could do that in the background while we seamlessly do this, that would be magic. So thank you. But I just wanted to start by saying thank you everybody for attending today. This is the Property Mum coffee sessions. They were coffee mornings, but you know what? It's lunchtime, so it had to be a session rather than a morning. The reason that we've had this session, and that was one of the first ones I wanted to do, just because we talk about the importance of video and being on camera in the industry. We talk about it all the time, and anybody that appears on podcasts or listens to podcasts, it's one of the number one questions that we constantly get asked is about, if you're not doing video, you should be doing it. Yet we still don't see that many people that are putting themselves out there and actually getting in front of the camera. So what we've decided to do is talking about crafting compelling social media videos. So when I put this together, there's the number one person that sprang to mind. Yay! As if
Matt Lee!
Here we go. Matt, you're in.
I'm so sorry, guys. This is a tech nightmare. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you weren't waiting long. Oh, yeah, hi.
We were just doing an amazing introduction of you, Matt.
It's a brilliant
Thanks.
I was just talking
Philly.
about in terms of why we're doing this and the importance of social media, and the two people that I wanted to have, of course, are Toby Martin and Matt Lee. So I'm so excited to get your feedback and hear about everything that you're doing and how you're doing it. And you'll see we're across the spectrum. So what I do is very basic and very makeshift. So it's very quick and fast if you want to get some content out there. Then you've got the super slick pro that is Toby Martin, that has the content, he has the hilarity, he has the facts, the figures, the industry knowledge, and everything. So we're going to have absolutely. So he's going to be able to talk to you about everything by way of how it should be done, what you should be doing, equipment to use, and editing. And then we have the absolute professional that is Matt Lee from PVS Media that will actually talk about taking it to another level once again. So you've got a massive spectrum in terms of what it looks like to be able to create your own video. I know there's lots of people on this call that actually are doing it already as well, which is amazing to have you here. It'd be great to get your interaction in terms of how you do it and any questions that you have. So any questions that you have, I've put them in the chat, or just speak out and let us know, because we will answer questions as we go along. So I just want to talk about in terms of how I operate and what I do on a basic level. The key word for me is consistency, and being able to get rid of the fear factor and just put yourself out there. You can't think about what it looks like, who's watching, because at the end of the day, you won't watch it back. Most people won't watch it back. You cannot care what other people think. At least you're actually putting yourself out there and you're doing it. I think that is the thing from my side, is just make sure you get yourself in front of the camera, and you can do it at a very basic level. You don't need to have loads of equipment, or there are a few crucial pieces, which Toby will go into, that you should invest in that are super cheap. I would say if I go back to the very basics of when you're actually starting out in video, which we discussed yesterday, actually, Toby, didn't we? And it sounds really simplistic, but I'm going to go super simple. This is my part. The super simple part is when you're recording your video, for one, you can buy something like this. Obviously, a ring light, that's like off of Amazon for 20 quid. So you've got obviously good lighting, and you can actually hold your phone in a certain position. So what you need to do is make sure your phone is being recorded like this, in portrait, not landscape, because obviously when you're actually seeing the image and when people are watching it, you're covering the whole of the screen. And also, I found out yesterday, that was my reason for doing it, is that it helps the algorithms. So when you're actually trying to get your reach, that is an absolute priority. But I am just hosting this event. I am going to pass you over to the experts. So I'm going to pass you over to Toby Martin to be able to talk about everything that he knows and does and loves about social media. Over to you.
Thank you. What a build-up. I can only disappoint now. Thank you very much. I love talking about this. I'm very evangelical about video, mainly because it's worked so well for me. And I get infuriated. I should be very pleased, but I get infuriated when I see other people not doing it. Because I'm thinking, why are you not doing this? It's free, it's easy, it's successful. So my whole takeaway from this, if you take anything away from it, is do video. It doesn't matter. You can shoot for the stars and you can use PVS. You can get a professional to do it for you, or you can do it yourself, as long as you do it. Doing it in any way is better than not doing it. There's no good reason not to. So I kind of set down the route of doing video and putting myself on screen to give credit where it's due after I attended a training session being run by Chris England of PBS. That whole session persuaded me to give it a go. And it was astonishing how quickly I started to receive positive feedback from my videos, which at the time were very rudimentary. They don't have to be beautifully edited. They don't have to be laden with graphics, but they got comments, and that felt nice. So I carried on doing it. And then I kind of went down this rabbit hole and looked into it a whole lot more and sort of found out the actual scientific and sort of business reasons why you should be doing video. I've got two main stats that I always trot out whenever I'm trying to convince somebody that they should do video. The first is that in this age of information and vendor research, because everyone here, if you need to buy something on Amazon, you don't just go onto Amazon, search the thing, and click buy. You read all the reviews, you Google it, you do your research. Every consumer likes to make an informed transaction or decision, don't they? So you carry out a huge amount of research before you even get started. So the stat that I read, which was carried out by a large research body in America, said that more than 80% of the buyer's journey now happens online before they even make contact with you. So whether it's your vendor or your landlord, your potential client, by the time you arrive for your market appraisal, they're potentially already 80% of the way towards making their decision of who to instruct. And how have they reached that decision? They've done it online through their own research, through social media, through Googling, looking at your website. So part of that first stat. So the second stat is that in 2022, 82% of all global internet traffic was watching video. So of all of the activity that happened online in 2022, 82% of it was watching, streaming, downloading video content. So we know on one hand that our consumers are doing a hell of a lot of online research before they even meet you at the property. And you know on the other hand that 82% of internet traffic is video. So if you're not doing video, you're missing out on a massive opportunity for people to find you. And obviously, I'm sure Matt will come on to the, between us, we'll come on to the other reasons, such as making a personal connection, allowing them to see your face, expressing your character. There's all sorts of reasons to do video, but those two are a great starting point, I think. And then, like you said, Alex, the algorithms. The video, because of that weight of internet traffic, is so popular that the social media feeds, we all try to promote ourselves on social media, I presume. The social media feeds are calculated to promote video above all other content. And again, to throw some figures at you, Facebook posts with video generate 5 times higher engagement time. People stop and look at posts with video on Facebook 5 times longer than other types of posts. On Instagram, you're looking at about 40% more engagement on a video post. And on LinkedIn, users are 20 times more likely to share a post with video on LinkedIn. So it's not just about getting a warm, fuzzy feeling of posting a video out there and people going, oh, I like that thing that you posted. There's valid business reasons as to how it's the most effective way to get yourself in front of your customers.
Yeah, totally agree. If I can just jump in on a couple of those points. Obviously, we're at the coalface working with estate and letting agents and other businesses, but just on what Toby was saying there, this new thing called video is not going away. So you guys, I mean, thumbs up, you're well ahead of the curve, even trying to get on a course like this or a webinar just to chat things through and alleviate any fears. But yeah, I don't know how many of your local competitors are doing it on the patch of high street you're on, or maybe you're off the high street, but first to market is so strong with this, where not that agents follow each other as such, but like Toby was saying, it gives you a chance to really showcase your team, your people. Like everyone always says, it's a people's business. If you're into houses, become an architect. It's a people's business, which is true. So why not put you and your team? I know there's a fear if you're business owners that you might get a steady rate of churn with some of your staff, and the person that you put as not the face of the business, but doing most of your videos then get headhunted or poached or whatever. But that's just the nature of the beast. Like, put yourself on there if you're the owner, because you're not going anywhere, or just accept the fact that you will lose people. That it depends. If you can get buy-in from your team and having a lot more of the team doing videos, then there's some incentives for motivation within the team, within that themselves. Like whoever, like Toby's mentioned, some of the metrics about views or shares or engagement. Why not? If you're struggling to get buy-in from the team, why not get them to have a little internal competition where the most views or the most likes or shares at the end of the week, they get a couple of hours off, because money's money and champagne's champagne, but time's super valuable. Like they can go and do the school run on a Friday, maybe, what they don't normally get to do. So yeah, getting buy-in from the team is essential, because if you're going to go on this journey, it's all right dipping your toe in the water, but like going back to Alex's original point, consistency is king. There's a crazy stat saying that if you've done, I think it's more than 50 podcasts on a weekly or a monthly basis, you're in the top like 3% globally of people that consistently put out podcasts, which is crazy really, because like who's saying you can't do one a week, or not just podcasts, but one video a week? Like, once you know the dark arts of editing, which are not that dark really, there's loads of cool stuff online now like CapCut and other sort of free video editing platforms where, you know, YouTube exists. When I was at school, it was down the library to figure something out. You've got YouTube at your hands, and you've got people like Toby and Alex and David Mintz, I can see on the screen. Hi, David. Like, great proponent of videos and does great content and consistently. So, yeah, you don't know who's watching it and when and how they're engaging with it. But going back to what Toby said a minute ago, there's a famous realtor in Australia, part of the McGrath Group, if you've heard of those guys, and Josh Vegan. And he said, there's a guy who works with Josh Vegan, Troy Malcolm, and he said that, saying what Toby said, people research you up to 6 months before they even pick up that phone to ring the office or pop into the high street shop to say, hi, I want to engage with your services. So that's touch points that are happening that you didn't even know were happening before they made a buying decision or a research decision to come and speak to you. So, like, make it easy for them. Let them meet your team. Let them meet you. Let them meet your knowledge and your authority in the industry, because, you know, you guys, unless you're maybe like London or sort of international investor based, you have the benefit of, like, most of your clientele will be maybe 80% of your clientele's in that protracted postcode area in which you work. So it makes it even easier to then target them with, you know, whether it's Facebook advertising or LinkedIn or whatever. It makes them slightly easier to target because you're trying to dominate that one postcode. And if you get that to that stage and you want to start pushing, you know, putting money behind your videos, then that's super cheap still on Facebook. It's so cheap to advertise compared to, say, what you guys were paying for a half or a full page spread in the local rag. Like, I don't know, like even maybe 10 years ago, you were probably between £500 and £1,000 for a page, maybe, and whether that's weekly or monthly or whatever. But it's so cheap to get the stuff that you are making out there. And you only have to look at Toby's videos. And the thing we always say in training is, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. So, you know, someone could look at my videos and, I mean, a bit like Alex said, we use the phrase digital chip shop paper because, like some A-list Hollywood actors, they don't watch their films back. It's their job. They go and film it. It's filmed over the course of a year. It's not really a film in their mind until they see it. But I know, like, Brad Pitt doesn't tend to watch his own movies back. So make some content. Don't feel silly. Don't worry about being judged, because really the only people that can judge you, your inner circle, your friends and family. Like, who cares what Sally_63 from Southampton thinks about your video? Because you're probably never going to meet Sally. And actually, you don't care what she thinks when it's a good video or a bad video or what. But and the final thing is, well, not the final thing, but Joe Public are not Barry Norman. They're not like film critics. If your video's not perfect, they won't notice. Like, I used to spend ages, like, we'd be watching something on the sofa with my good lady, and I'll be like, oh my God, did you see that? That was well out of focus. Like, we're watching Celebrity Get Me Out of Here Jungle one week, and so the winner came across the bridge, or the person that got voted out, and they were completely blurred, and the jungle behind them was pin sharp. So they've got their focus wrong. And this is ITV, like one of the biggest production companies in the country. And my missus didn't see it. She was like, oh, no, I didn't notice that. So don't think if there's something slightly wrong, don't put the video out, I'm going to get caned for it, because you won't be, because Joe Public just take the information and they don't really analyze the video, whether your lower thirds are in the right place or you've got a watermark logo in the corner, or even if you're slightly out of focus. I'd say audio is more important to convey the message than a super sharp picture. Obviously, you know, with phones nowadays, you're almost guaranteed a super sharp picture. But yeah, I've got holiday dots and facial flaps to talk about later. So just some little life hacks that are super cheap that will improve the quality of your video. So yes.
Love that. Such great points, Matt, in terms of looking at that whole spectrum, and some great advice in terms of, like you said, just not caring about what it looks like. I know when I first started out, when you just actually record and then you stop. Like I did it in small segments rather than a whole video that's, let's say, 60 minutes, definitely not 60 minutes, 60 seconds long. Then you can compose yourself and you can go again and you can go again and you can piece it together. If I show one of your videos, Toby, then can you talk us through in terms of how you put it together and in terms of the content? Yeah, absolutely. Is that okay?
Yeah, let's give it a go. Just know that I'll be dying inside as I watch myself.
But you still do it, and that's how I found you. That's how I know you, is from your videos.
Yeah. Oh, is that really how you met? Right.
Yeah, genuinely. Like literally, that's how I found Toby.
But that applies to the majority of my network. That's how I've got out there on LinkedIn, especially. So yeah, videos changed my life.
Definitely for the better.
Oh yeah.
Bath rental market or unfair deposit policy?
Let's start off with bath rental market. We'll just watch a little bit of it, please. It's quite a long one. This is one of the videos that I record once a month, which is just a general market update. So I diarise to do this at the start of every month, and I use. We don't subscribe to any kind of stat services, so I just scrape these stats off our CRM, and I put out kind of how long it's taken us to rent a property, whether how much our rents have gone up by from in the properties we let in the last month compared to when we last let them. They've risen by on average what percent, and just a general overview of the current market. And yeah, if we play a little bit of it, then I'll tell you a little bit more.
Can you see my screen? Sorry to ask, but I can't see you.
Yeah.
Toby Marr. Here's Toby Marr. Here we go.
Hill is an all-time high. The family homes market is slowing. So, and the renters reform. Does it work if I talk over it, or is that confusing? That's a quick snapshot of this month's update. Here's a bit more detail. Hello, I'm Toby Martin, and here's your monthly roundup of all things rental here in Bath and nationally as well. So let's begin by having a look at the usual vital statistics that summarise the market at the moment. Well, okay.
Is that enough?
Yeah, there's plenty. So just to explain a couple of things with that. So that's recorded landscape because that lives on YouTube and it's a long form video. The main intention for this video is to send it out to our existing clients. It's great if that gets in front of new or potential clients. But I think that we focus a lot on social media. Video is not just for social media. You can do a lot besides with the videos that you produce. And I think your own current database is something that's easy to overlook. So yeah, do consider sending any videos of value. So with informative, educational content out to your existing clients, because it's a great way to increase client retention. So the mechanics of that video are such that I always do a little 10-second intro at the start. It's not, hi, I'm Toby from Reside. It's, these are the headlines for this month. You've only got a few seconds at the start of your video to catch the attention of your viewer. So don't waste that introducing yourself. If they're watching a video, they're already on a page that's entirely branded by your company. So that they're probably all going to be able to work that out for themselves. And you can put a title on if you want your name on there. So quick kind of something to grab their attention. And then, like Alex said earlier, I used to try and do these things in one run, sort of 5-6 minute videos. It was incredibly stressful. I kind of get 4 minutes in and then stumble over a word and have to start again from the beginning. And I don't know why I thought it was a sin to record it in different segments. And now I do record it in different segments. And the way that I kind of go about making it look sort of put together and not too disjointed is that when I start a new segment, I normally just either increase or decrease the zoom on the image slightly. And I think having that kind of slight shift in perspective, I think helps to retain the viewer's attention rather than just having the video stationary for the entire time on a fixed point. So if every kind of 30 seconds or something like that, you just zoom in slightly, zoom out slightly, it just maintains attention, I think. And yeah, so that video in particular, I will record it monthly, send it out to our database, put it on YouTube, and then feed it into Opus. If you don't use Opus, it's AI online, not expensive, and it will take long form videos and churn out shorter clips that are portrait for use on social media. And then I'll schedule them to be used over so on a weekly basis over that month. So that's immediately a month's worth of content from one video once per week. And again, just to come back to that point I was making, the impact on your existing clients, don't underestimate that. I remember when I started doing that, I overlooked it for a little while before I started sending it out to existing clients because I was focusing too much on social media. And I instantly got so many emails back, which never happened when we sent out our generic newsletters to landlords. And instantly I got so many emails back, and I started saving them in a folder. And I was taken by just how many of them mentioned the word video. They said, I jotted a few down here. So this real life feedback from landlords. What a progressive approach to send a video. Thank you for this. Video is a good format for explaining dense information. A real client wrote that. Thank you for your informative video. It's good to know our agents are on the ball. And my favorite, many thanks for this, it's clear and concise. Has anyone ever noticed how similar your voice is to Darren Brown? But also, just in itself, the fact they see me on screen, you're relatable. And I think that means that they feel they can reply in that slightly jokey, informal way. So you're actually strengthening your bonds with your landlords because they're seeing you and relating to you better. So that's one example of a video.
Oh, Emma's got a question.
Sorry, can I just ask Toby, when you're sending out those videos, are you sending them as an attached video or like a link for them to watch it somewhere else?
So I know that depending on what CRM you use, some of them have really clever ways of I don't think embedding videos actually into the video, the email, but I know I chatted with someone who I think uses Auto, and they basically have a function where you just go insert video and you put in the YouTube URL, and it doesn't put in the actual video, but it automatically puts a thumbnail into the email that's linked when they click on it to the real video on YouTube. I just manually work around that. So I put an image that's designed to look like the video with the play button in the middle, and I link it to the YouTube video. So it looks like it's got an email, it looks like it's got a video in the email, but it's actually a linked image. And I think a lot of people look at it and think it's a real video and click on it, and it just takes them to the actual video.
Yeah, good shout. Bomb as well, if you haven't heard of that, Emma, which is funny enough, we got our first ever request for a gig via video. Nick Neal from YouMove sent Chris and I a video saying, "Hi guys," or Matt and Chris, very personalized. I was like, oh, I thought it was just a generic video from Nick, but it was just to us, and he was asking us if we could film a gig, and so we sent him a video reply back saying we would love to. But like Toby said there, if I can just jump on that point of strengthening relationships, couldn't agree more. You'll not only get a faster response because it looks like, it depends if you personalize the video, if you're sending it out to your database, but still you'll have, as time goes on, younger and younger landlords or property portfolio landlords that will be using video, have grown up with video, as opposed to the sort of common garden 60, 70-year-olds that have got a couple of accidental properties. So it's a great one, and it does make, like Toby said, when he gets comments on his videos, it does make you feel that someone's taken time out of their day. I mean, my one I always go to, it was a few years ago, I had a VW car, and it went in for a factory recall repair. And later on that afternoon, I got a little video clip emailed to me, and I couldn't see the guy, but I could hear his voice. And he was just showing me under the car where the repair had been done, because I didn't know what it was and what they were going to do to it. But so there's that element of trust. But the fact he'd taken 30 seconds out of his day to send me a personalized video and use my name in it made that customer service experience way beyond. I mean, it was just a recall and a repair, and I didn't really expect anything from the company, just that the job was done. But I felt that the chances of me going back to them again, that particular garage, was probably heightened because of that extra level of customer service, should I say, that they'd given me. It just made you feel nice and that someone had thought about you and spent time on you. Yeah, the other thing is, I know Bonbon goes straight into your email, but like the hyperlink of a thumbnail is also a great little way to sort of fool people on that one over an email. Because I don't know why Google haven't changed it yet, but you can only attach 25 megabytes to an email, which is like so tiny. There are other ways. If you've got huge videos, by the way, guys, there's a free app you can download for PC or Mac. It's called Handbrake. And the little icon is like a pineapple with a cocktail next to it. I'm just having a look there. So, but that will crush your videos. If you've got, say, like a 2 gig video and you're struggling to send it on WeTransfer to some clients because you've got a free account and the limit's 2 gig, or it's going to take 8 hours to upload to YouTube because your internet's slow and it's too big. If you just pop that video into Handbrake, it digitally crushes it without losing any of the audio or the visual quality, and it will probably crush a 2 meg video to something like 200 meg, which like takes all the sort of heavy lifting out of it, and it's easier to upload to social platforms, it's easier to send to databases and whatnot using Bonbon or others. But that's a great little way. And also just going back on something Toby said in terms of time is Toby spends or plans to spend a day a month, like, and I'm sure he batch records stuff. So like he doesn't just do one market update and then he's back to his desk. It's well, actually I want to release 1 or 2 videos a week, so on that day I've got to make 8 videos, and then I can put them in a social media scheduler or give them to your social media person if you've got one, or whatever. So there's a lot of like, and also Opus, and there's another one called Gling, which shortens down stuff for you. And as you can imagine with AI features like this, I joked with Chris, I said, I bet we get a feature every month, and Gling are doing that, where this month they did an audio denoise for background noise. But give it 3 or 6 months and it will be doing things that we do at work that people pay us to do. But, you know, not in the same way, but, you know, use the technology. And then just going back to the editing stuff that Toby was talking about, it's called a jump cut, and YouTube made it famous, where, you know, I'll be talking like this, and then the next shot is just slightly closer to me, and then you can come back out again. And it's, just a jump cut, and YouTube's made it famous. But I don't know if you guys have got little people in your lives, but then must have heard of a guy called Mr. Beast. He's like the biggest and bestest YouTuber at the minute, highest grossing money, channel views. He gets on average 22 million views for every video he puts out. He only does 2 a month because they're normally huge. But his advice on editing and keeping engagement with an audience is that something happens every 7 seconds, whether it's his videos like silly things going off in the background or explosions or something popping up on the screen. Now, don't put explosions in your latest update, but I mean, it probably garners some attention. But the point is that, like Toby's saying, he's changing the perspective, and it's not just a flat video that doesn't move and nothing happens, because that can be quite boring unless you're really into the subject. So having that bit of movement and stats popping up on the screen like you saw on Toby's, again, you know, adding text to a video might seem like hard work if you don't know how to do it, but it's pretty easy to do. Obviously, the research is the harder bit, getting the stats. So, and then again, what Toby was saying about educational videos to your current database, the rule of thumb generally is 80% give and 20% ask or get. So you should generally be giving more information and advice and content to your current client or future client base. And then every now and again, you can ask for things in a video like, hey, did you know we're now doing this as a service? If you'd like mortgage advice, give us a call. Because when that's mixed up in 80% worth of, here, have some of my knowledge for free videos on someone's timeline, it's less jarring and like, oh, these guys are just trying to sell to me all the time. Like, you're in that business, I'm in that business. We have to sell stuff to be a business. But by coming across as not so salesy, by giving a lot of knowledge and time and expertise away in inverted commas, people will be more responsive to when you do ask or sort of alert them to a new service, for example. So, I mean, I've got loads more notes, but over to you guys.
I think it's such a great point because, like you said, there's so much at our disposal, but the key is being able to make it valuable. Like you said, Matt, that selling element is actually the smallest part. So it's being able to actually make sure that you are engaging with them. And like you said, but I love that zooming effect. I haven't done it or tried it yet, so thank you for that tip. There we go. I can see a few comments that are in the chat, and I agree, Sarah. Like you said, CapCut. I love a bit of CapCut.
Yes.
I use captions as well. That's really good for subtitles. You can get a few apps that are free to use as well. But there's so much that you can do and mix together, and then you get used to it. It's a bit like if you love a bit of being able to work around Canva. We all love a bit of Canva, and then you just take it to that next level and add it in the mix with the likes of. I think that CapCut is brilliant. But then you've also, if you're on TikTok as well, and I usually use quite a combination. So I might do a video, just a normal video on my phone, then I'll put it on CapCut, then I might get a bit with TikTok to be able to use the sounds and everything as well. So it's an amalgamation to see what works for you. I mean, mine don't look as super slick as Toby's and what Toby does, but again, if you want something quick and fast, it's just being able to play with it, but just being able to do it constantly. We did have a question about time of day of posting. So about whether I don't know if anybody answered that, because I tried to go to the chat and I actually exited myself from the session. Don't know if anyone noticed. And I was like, I can't get back in. But I could see in the chat, and I'm not going to press it again because otherwise I'm going to leave the group. But I know that it did say about what is the best time of day to post for LinkedIn, Instagram. I think there was TikTok on there.
I don't know whether people can have access to the chat, but Chris England, who you might have seen or known about the place, my business partner, he's got it's probably about 3 months old now, and it's ever changing, but he's got a PDF sort of graphic of when and where to post and what time. So for LinkedIn, for example, it's one of the few, if not the only, social media platform that you can happily use at work. Like as a boss, if I walked in and one of the staff were looking through LinkedIn, I wouldn't assume that they were not working because it's like a professional platform. But if you walked in and people were messing around on TikTok and Facebook on their personal pages, then less so. But that's the one way you can post stuff sporadically throughout the day, because people have normally got a tab open on the desktop or their laptop. And they're quite happily jumping in and out of LinkedIn most of the day. Obviously, the weekends are just great, because I know a lot of agents work sort of Saturdays or a Saturday morning at least. But, sort of Sunday evenings when people are not too late, because a lot of people sort of, turn their phones off at a certain time or don't have scripts, no social Sundays. But it's sort of that Sunday afternoon time when they might be making Sunday dinner and everyone's a bit relaxed and the TV's on, it's not really great, and they're just flicking through the phone. That's a great time to post as well, because people feel relaxed and ready to receive a bit of content. So, but I'll post that to Alex, and she can either send it out to you guys, or we'll get it in the group chat and sort of forward this on afterwards. I guess you've got a list of people, Alex, haven't you? So that's quite useful. I mean, but also just post it, like just get it out there. Like there's a guy in Sawbridgeworth, Adam Mackay, really, really great agent. He made just under 300 videos that he stored on his phone before he even posted any, because he just wasn't happy with them. They weren't quite right. They weren't perfect. And that's crazy. Like just get them out there. And like, if you've got something good to say, and let's face it, you guys know your stuff, then put it on camera, and people, like Toby's found out, people will come to you and they'll ask you for business, or can I have, can we work with you? Because it's a digital marketplace. It's a marketplace online. And what happens at a marketplace? You stand at a stall and you shout your wares and your offers. Like, that's not changed. It's just what's changed is our market stalls are now online. Chris, if you've ever been on a training session with Chris, he talks about the empty shop syndrome, where essentially if you've got no video or nobody to meet on your website when someone lands on your homepage, then it's like walking into a shop that's empty. They're sort of looking around for some assistance or a friendly face to help them spend money or engage with you. And of course you can do that, but chatbots are chatbots. Like, they scoop up a lot of stuff after hours. And so why not get your team or you, or sort of on your webpage, on your social channels, front and center, and get your team met and get these people out there and in front of people, and people respond to it. Like I say, video's not going away anytime soon. So get on that gravy train. It works for people. Yeah,
it's here to stay, isn't it? I think that's the thing. And it sounds as though in the chat I can see that Georgina and Sarah have mentioned about using CapCut. So these ladies are already on it, and I love the video and the content that they're putting out there. I would say that in terms of subtitles, I have always constantly put them at the lower end, but you'll see that if you post on the likes of most social media platforms, you'll get the automated captions. So really, ideally, you want to be putting them above your head so you can read them, because otherwise they get lost unless you cancel them out. So that's a tip that I'm telling you, but I need to start doing myself. It's almost a way, isn't it, really? Sarah Hood's with us. You've been doing hello. Thank you for being with us. You've been putting out loads on social media at the moment, and you're really consistent, and you can see you've got that confidence and blamming it out there. What advice have you got for everybody in the call in terms of your approach and how you're tackling and getting in front of the camera at the moment?
So I didn't always have this confidence at all. So it's like what Chris just said. Matt just said about, don't judge someone's chapter 1 by their chapter 10. I've been doing this for a long time. And in fact, I looked back at the first video that I put myself in 18 months ago or so. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Has it gone like that? Yeah.
I was horrified. It wasn't actually that bad in the grand scheme of things. But to me, having done so much work on it now, I look back and I was like, oh my God. And that video took all day to put together. It took like hours and hours and hours of retakes because my hair blew away in the wind, or I fluffed a line, or I blinked in the wrong place. And then, working out how to use the tech to sort of streamline it together into some sort of cohesive thing. And then it's 45 seconds long, but it's taken you all day to make. Yeah. So I very quickly, I think, and this came from sort of tips from people like Elle Wood, who sort of said, people want to have that digital relationship with you before they even meet you. So I started injecting a bit more personality into my videos rather than, this is a house, please let it, or please rent it, please buy it. And that sort of got me a bit more traction. And then I just sort of said, fuck it. Sorry. But I just sort of said, I don't care what I look like anymore. I just want to get it done. I want to get it out there. I want to be consistent. So if I'm going to spend all day fluffing, it's not going to get done. So I now try and do it in one take, in as few minutes as possible, and just try and do something that feels like a mixed bag. So it's not the same thing all the time. And yeah, just a bit of variation as well, in as short a little snippet of personality as I can give over, really.
Yeah, no, that's just to jump in there. I mean, I was going to talk at some point about just a really, really easy way to dip your toe in the water is, for any of your valuers, or if you do it yourselves, is pre and post val videos, because that, I mean, you can probably already do them, Sarah, or other people on the call, is to have someone open their front door as you're walking up the garden path or the driveway or whatever, and them already recognize you. That level of trust goes up a magnitude of points. And I'm pretty sure the other two people they've invited into their lounge won't have done that. I mean, don't get me wrong, if they're using platforms like Akaboom and stuff, I love that platform. It's super powerful, very visual. And that's something, when I do training with those guys, I recommend them preloading them into the, the sort of vendor's sort of presentation in effect. But it's just a really great way. And like Sarah's saying, just be yourself, because if you ever meet this client and you've been putting on a funny accent or changing your hair every time for the video, they're going to go, yo, that's not you. So
yeah, catfishing. Yeah,
no,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I couldn't agree with that more. It's people just don't. The people that you want to do business with aren't the ones judging you. They're just like, oh, that's interesting, I'll give her a call, or I'll give them a call. So it's, like Sarah's hit the nail on the head. Once you get that fear factor out of your mind of either no one's good, the worst thing you can do is no one watches your video, zero views. That's the worst thing that can happen. Like, if someone, I mean, Chris Watkins done videos on dealing with trolls, and as of other people in the industry have, and it's basically kill him with kindness. Thanks for your comment. If you need any more assistance, blah, blah, blah. Because don't forget, like, the LinkedIns and the Facebooks of this world are very public platforms. It's always got their name and their photo next to their comment. So, you know, if they've had a few scoops one night and decided to be a bit rude online, either the message is gone the next morning, or they're probably a little bit apologetic for writing it in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's one of those where don't get stressed about it. Definitely don't go to battle with them. But yeah. And also, I mean, TikTok, I mean, I've got a video, or Alex has got a video that I've sent over to show you. Just an agent that he's in Melton Mowbray now, but he worked in Peterborough for years. And he was one of the, he's an old school friend, but so we talk about stuff all the time anyway. But he was one of the first people I knew who really started using TikTok. Now, you know, a couple of years ago, I'd have probably said to you on a training course, like, keep an eye on TikTok, but that's not where your target audience is, because I think the demographic for the usage on that platform was around 11 to 13 or 14-year-olds. Now, yeah, they might have rich mum and dads or whatever willing to buy a house, but they weren't quite on that buying journey yet. But I think it's safe to say now that adults use that as much as young people. So, and he made a video, and it's a property tour, but you've probably seen them if you use TikTok. But this one he made last year, or maybe even longer, and it got 2 million views. Now, once you're getting into the millions of views, you've got to say that video's working. Whether he actually sold the house through TikTok, I'm not sure. I haven't checked with him. I will and feed back. But the amount of eyeballs that are on your business on that platform, you know, even if 1.95 million of them just watch the video and then scroll on to the next one, like, slowly but surely they're remembering your brand, they're remembering your face. And this one, James doesn't even talk. You've probably seen them. They stand outside the house, they wave at you, and then like I think Alex mentioned it before, and maybe Sarah as well. But by using Instagram and TikTok, you get the benefit of using copyright-free music, which, as a business, like, we pay for copyright-free music through various platforms, because we're not allowed to use like the latest one from Ed Sheeran or whoever else you like. But there is no denying that a catchy, popular top 40 song, or something that's in the social conscience of music lovers out there, by using a famous song, like, it does keep people watching the video for longer, and it does give your video as something else. So, like Toby said before, don't just think social media. Think, like Sarah said, I've made a video, and now I'm going to cut that down into smaller parts. Like, you got your pillar content and then your little bits, and you might put out shorts on social. But you know, that video can go to database, but you can also, like Alex said, repurpose it by uploaded straight to TikTok, put a killer song to it and some cool graphics and some emojis, because that's what the algorithm likes. And all of a sudden you've got this following on TikTok that might take a while to harvest, but in a year or two's time, they could be your new sort of buyers and sellers, and renters especially. So those two, make use of that music option, because it is quite powerful, very powerful. Yeah.
Can I just jump back to something that Sarah said earlier, which I'd like to pick up on, which is essentially how a lot of people come and ask me how to get started. They see video, they want to do video, they don't want to get started, and the confidence factor is a big one. And a lot of people would like the idea of it, but there's a big barrier to putting yourself on video and putting yourself out there, which is confidence and self-belief. And I always think there's two different ways to approach that. And it depends whether you're a rip the Band-Aid off type of person or soak it off. And so if you want to rip the Band-Aid off, just start putting out video. But if you want to ease yourself in and build up your confidence, try recording a daily video diary. You don't have to share it with anyone to begin with, but just the act of filming yourself is something that you get used to over time. To begin with, it feels alien and weird, and you feel self-conscious. But the more you do it, regardless of whether you're posting it anywhere, the more you grow accustomed to it. And so ideally, film yourself every day, saying something. Just say what happened today. And then maybe start to share it with someone, maybe WhatsApp it to them. So you're getting used to the feeling of someone else watching your video. So if you don't like the idea of just putting it out there, you can sort of ease your way into it. And I think the other barrier to people getting started is they don't know what to do. I mean, market updates are one thing, but like there are tons, so many other different kinds of video that you could do. Obviously, viral content is great, and that involves coming up with a gem of an idea. But in terms of, again, integrating it into your day-to-day agency lives, I've got a little list here. Market updates is one. FAQs, we mentioned that earlier, but a really good exercise to do is to get your whole team together and get them to write down every question that they can remember a client asking them, whether that's a tenant, landlord, buyer, seller. Make it a competition, see who can come up with the most. Every single one of those questions, you should have at least 100. Every single one of those questions could be the title of a video. And then you just made yourself months worth of content. Bio videos, so, meet the team videos. And then a really smart thing to do, which my team don't yet know, but I'll be doing, put those in your email signatures. Make your emails more personable. Introduce your faces to people in your email correspondence. Give them opportunities to get to know you. If you're in lettings, legislation, it's all over the place, isn't it? And local content as well. Don't be afraid to get out into your community. Some people do that brilliantly. Go and talk to the local butcher, whoever. That kind of stuff goes down really well, and it gives you an opportunity to post into Facebook community groups where they don't really like salesy type content, but they love community content. So that's a great way to get in front of people that way.
Yeah, Ian's Story does that really well.
Yeah,
community interview type videos.
Yes, yeah, very much so. Yeah, we had Ian on a training course a few years ago, and he's definitely a success story. Not that he's done all the hard work; we just taught him the basics. But Jim Parker in Fife in Scotland, and there's quite a ham. I mean, one thing I would say, I mean, not teaching people on the call how to suck eggs, but I don't know what everyone's journey stage is at, but not everyone's doing video, especially estate agents. Like, because you guys are into estate agency, you read around the subject, you're very much invested in your own jobs, businesses, careers. Like, of a Toby or an Alex or a Chris England or a David Mintz or a Simon Weller, whatever. And that's because you've seen them online loads and loads and loads. But if you actually, we did a piece of work on this last year, like, I think there's only about 12% of agents across the UK that are actually doing video. Like, and they're the ones that we see all the time. But actually, if you ask 100 people at the next conference you go to, I'd hazard a guess that 80% have never even thought about doing video, or they're too scared to, or so.
Absolutely right, Matt. Absolutely. I think there's a real temptation to look at social media and go, "Oh, well, everyone's doing video now." But if you look at your local competitors and go and look at their feeds, the likelihood is that very few of them will be doing it. So that it is still a medium that provides real opportunity to be one of the earliest people to be doing it. Even
You're so spot on, and I know Dave Mintz left now, but he left a comment just saying how video content seems to have a longer lifespan than other forms of content. People remember it for a long time after it's released, and he's had people locally approach him for stuff that he's put out years ago. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? And like you said, we know a lot of these people because they are putting themselves out there, so it is memorable and it has got that engagement, but also equally so, Matt, coming back to your part about the car element, when I was looking to get a car, they would literally say, "Hi Alex, this is the car that you've inquired about," and that's so personable, and that's not the same value as a house. So it's a case of, if we don't want to put ourselves out on these public forums, maybe start a bit smaller and do to the customer. And like you said, really, it'd be great if agents, we can't get around to the house every single time, but it might be that you just do an intro video and personalize it to the customers, then do obviously a jazzy, fabulous house tour video, and then close it off by saying, if you like it, give me a call and have your details, much like what the car industry is doing. And I think that they put a lot more time and effort, and people are spending hundreds of thousands with us, whether they're buying a house or letting a house. Maybe we just need to add that personal touch. And then it's not as scary as putting it out there in the public domain.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, sorry.
I think as well. I think if any agent is left with any doubt as to whether they should be doing video, you just have to look at the BBC One daytime schedule. The general public love looking around houses. If it's not Homes Under the Hammer or Escape to the Country or Phil and Kirsty with one of their 17 different programs, which I watch all of them. then they're consuming house content more than anything else, more so than food or antiques, which is insane. So people love watching it, and people are nosy by nature. People like looking around other people's houses. So I think
they do.
Why are you not tapping into that? Because these programs aren't new. Phil and Kirsty have been going for the best part of 25 years, and they still have people applying to go on their program to be shown around houses and not buy them. Like it like that is surely just the thing that that should be case closed as far as I'm concerned, but people just don't do it, and my local competitors aren't doing it, and I don't understand why.
And Georgina, you've got your hand up. Are you there? Hello? Or maybe it was meant to be an applause. Agree with everything you were saying, Sarah. Or maybe there's technical issues. So we've got approximately 5 minutes remaining. Were there any other questions or any other words of wisdom or advice that Toby or Matt wanted to divulge before we wrap up?
I mean, I think we agreed yesterday on the test call we could just keep talking. But is there any quick fire questions about anything that you might not understand or don't get how to do or what to buy? And we'll try and give you some quick answers. Oh yeah, actually, sorry, just before I get going, I will show you this because it's super useful and it also helps with the fear of video. And Toby, I love your point about doing a video every day or a video diary. And we often say, film someone when you get home, film the kids playing before bed, film the dog eating its dinner, film your missus or your husband or your partner cooking, and then just take 4 or 5 clips, pop them into your editing suite and go through the process of editing a video, adding titles, adding graphics, adding a bit of music. I guarantee you within a couple of weeks, no one will have seen this video content because no one wants to see it. It's just you at home. But it will speed up that process when you come to actually do it. So the 2 life hacks are, there's a phone with all you guys on. First off, these, which are super expensive as everyone knows, but just a Post-it note. And honestly, the tips are real. So now what I can't do is check my hair, check my tie, make sure my blouse is straight. And also, because they're made of paper, you guessed it, guys, you can write on it. So don't forget what you're saying. And because of the eye travel from, and this is the second bit, is, I mean, you probably all know where your actual lens cameras are, but 90% of photos and videos I see online are people looking here and talking, they think they're talking to you here, but I'm talking to you now. Now I'm not talking to you. It's like going for a pub for a pint with a mate and then having a conversation over his shoulder. And he's like, where are you looking? Eye contact is so important. So get a holiday dot or a bit of blue tack and just stick it right next to your lens. You can see it's your lens because my finger's covering it. And then put your Post-it note back on. And then your only reason for living for the next 5 minutes is to talk to that dot and read what you had already planned to say. And no one will ever know that you're even reading because the eye travel from there to there is so slight. It's not like you're looking away and checking your notes. You're literally ding, ding, ding. And just that, and Chris Watt can tell you about it, but 1, 2, 3 method. And it ends with the olive branch, like Alex mentioned, of if you need any more information or you need to give us a call or drop us an email, here's that call to action. Here's that olive branch of nothing's too small, nothing's too big. Get in touch with us for more videos, or do what the YouTubers do. Hey guys, like and subscribe. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get it. You sort of are. You don't have to say it like that, but
I like it like that.
A 60-year-old portfolio. But to someone that silver surfer, don't speak all modern and YouTubey. Talk in their language, but also just say, by the way, Mr. Smith, did you realize if you click that big alarm bell at the bottom of this video, you will get all my useful content about stats and property markets and la, 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 la. And you can actually just talk people through what they need to do to keep getting your content. And people of a certain vintage, it's super useful that you showed them how to do that. So,
I'm looking at the time. I've got a very quick list of top tips. Can I run through them?
Go for it.
Wrap up?
1 minute, 30 seconds.
All right, see if I can squeeze it in. Okay. Buy a tripod, Bluetooth microphone, and a ring light. Probably total cost 60 quid. Your videos will be really professional. If you're doing educational style videos, share them with your whole team as well and build up a library, because then when people call up saying, can you tell me a little bit more about if I should rent my house furnished or unfurnished, you can say, oh, actually, Emma from our team's done a really informative video on that. Let me send it across to you. And boom, they see Emma's face. Before you stick your sticky note over your phone screen, turn on the grid. And it helps you to just line yourself up properly with your eyes on the top vertical line and your head in the middle. Accept that your first videos will be crap. or you will feel like your first videos will be crap. And don't let that put you off. Before you start filming, put a big smile on your face. People like that as a warm greeting at the start. And last one, dare to be a bit different. Yes, people are starting to do video a little bit more. So if you can inject a bit of humor, charisma, personality, it will really help. So what can you do that's just a little bit different and helps you to come across as you? And that is, once you've built that confidence, you'll get that confidence. Just have a little bit of a joke, laugh at one of your own jokes, look a little bit silly, whatever it may be. Just dare to be a little bit different.
Let's do this again. Let's do this again.
Love it. Is that the list? That mammoth list? Absolutely
yeah, I think so.
Honestly, guys, this has been brilliant, and I've taken so many things away from this as well. So thank you for everybody for attending today, and a massive thank you to Toby and Matt. Honestly, absolute legends. And like you said, we could go on for hours. We absolutely could. And we expect to see everybody on this call, posting things out there. We'll be liking and commenting, so make sure you do. And if you've got any questions or queries, obviously you can come to any of us. We'll be more than happy to help. But just again, it's really nice to have this platform to be able to share ideas. So many people will keep these trade secrets to themselves rather than extend them out to the network because they see it as a threat. So it's so amazing that we've had obviously Toby and Matt come on board and share as everything, basically all of their secrets with us. So we're really grateful and thank you so much.
Like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Hit that share button, guys.
Amazing.
Yeah, seriously, if you do need to get in touch, Alex has got our details and we're happy to talk on the phone or whatever. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank
thank
you,
you,
Alex.
Jen, Toby and Matt.
Bye.
Bye.
See you later, Sarah. Bye, Al.